All right, welcome to my hackathon uh, submission. So this is going to be the full detail, no holds barred, classic style of my YouTube channel. If it's 3 to 4 hours long or longer, great. You clicked on it. The title should make it clear what this is about. So I'll have another video, of course, where I submit it as my official submission video. Um, so this one, I'm just going to dive into all the details that will be discussed um, in my official submission video. I've got more development work to do as well. So after this, I'll have another development section or development session. I'll have another development session. And then I'm going to do some development in this video as well, likely. So let's do an overview of what I've got so far. I'm really happy with what I've got so far. So um, I've got my personal space up here in Hugging Face. In order for this to go live to the judges and actually win, it has to be put in the correct space. So the personal space isn't correct. But if we go to my files here on my personal space and then README, um, I put in there all of the important need to know spaces. Uh, so here we go. My submission for this hackathon is posted here. Note that I'm also backing up my code to my personal space. So that's what we're looking at there. Let's look at the official submission space. There we go. So we can see the same thing. I've also got it locally as well, um, just uh, just so I can test things out before pushing them up because it takes a while to build and run. So if I push it if I try it locally, I can test it out before I push it up to the Hugging Face space. But we can see what we got so far. So we got a medical symptom to ICD-10 code assistant. So this application is part of the Agents Plus MCP hackathon. It helps medical professionals to and patients to understand potential diagnoses based on symptoms. So I had a lot of stretch goals with this. This was basically the simplest possible thing. The other thing I would really like it to do at some point is to recommend medications. Because there are some pharmacies where you can go and order the medications yourself. So if you can get the medications for cheaper and faster, that might really aid people. There's also people that don't really have access to medical care, but they have access to the mail and getting things delivered. So we can see there is a table of drugs here. So if I close this, we do have a table of drugs. And these can map to specific these map to specific codes that can be cross-referenced with other things. So here we have a classic here. A lot of people are familiar with this one, caffeine. So we have codes if you accidentally got poisoned, if you're intentionally poisoned, if somebody else poisoned you. So we can use it for that purpose, of course. Were you drugged? Is a drug affecting you adversely? Um, or we can use it for do you need to take a drug because it will improve your condition? Can likely use the codes for that as well. But that's the stretch goal. I don't even have these codes pulled down. So let's start with let's start with the quick demo here. Now this isn't the demo video. This is the full detail. If this video is 4 hours long, it's not going to be long enough. Um, this is a video where I'm preparing for the demo. The demo would likely come from some of the stuff in this video, but the demo, I think, has limits to it as well. So I can't, oh, let me unpin that and duplicate it. So I can't just give a 4 hour demo video. I'll have to give a shorter demo video. Let's look at the um, the if we go down here to the resources, let's click here and let's see. Oh, you know what? There was submission guides. So yeah, we're gonna see submission guides on the hackathon page. So there's the hackathon page. Then we'll search for submission guidelines. So and we got 3 hits. So let's go right to this section. So yeah, here's the guidelines. So yeah, we pick one of these. We add a readme. We add the tag. And then okay, so we're going to include in the README a link to a video recording of the server in action using an MCP client. So this can be cloud desktop, cursor, or tiny agents. If you are using another Gradio app as an MCP client, uh, that is also an acceptable. That is also acceptable. This is an actual word here. You can link to that space. Okay. All right. So honestly, what I built so far might be track 3. I'm not sure that I built a. I'm not sure that I actually built a MCP server slash tool because uh, I don't have to use an MCP client to see if it works. So I'm going to start off by let me go ahead and I will show a quick demo of what I got so far. Um, so let me do that. So uh, okay, so let me do that. I'm gonna duplicate this. Or no, I have it right here. Okay. So type your systems here. So the other thing I'm trying to do is I wanted to talk with someone because I think where hospitals might want to buy this thing is they can have someone on the phone. I could even imagine like 911 uh, being using this on the phone. And what you do is, hey, I have a stomach ache. You just describe your symptoms, and then here we can see it shows up in the transcribed text, and we can see that it's not getting it right. So that's of course something I need to work on, is getting this transcribed text to show up properly. I think that likely has to do with the model. The model has to do that correctly. So I'll dive into the code briefly here. So we've got app.py. This is what Gradio uses to actually set this up. If we go into the logs, and we can likely see how this works. So we got source packages.txt. That's a really important one. That it's basically like sudo apt-get, but it's for the container. So I do have a packages.txt here, and we can see there are a number of libraries I need to make this work. We've got audio libraries to make this work. Now, yeah, so and I will be very transparent and say that this technically can qualify as a vibe coded project. I do have about 10 years of experience uh, in the field of technology. My primary skill set is network engineering, but I've also worked a lot with blending development with network engineering. So I've worked on actual agile teams, developer teams. I've had developer, software engineer title at prior jobs. So I am a developer for sure. I'm also a network engineer. But when it comes to um, this sort of project, I'll just admit, and I'll admit with some pride, there's a lot of vibe coding going on, and that's I don't see that as a bad thing because I see that as the future of development. So I'm not, but as such, I'm not going to be able to go and explain every little thing in every little detail. And if I could, then I could enhance it and do better in the competition. So, so yeah, I'll skip over these. Here we've got the requirements.txt file. So that's here under the files. Uh, that's all the, these are all the Python requirements. So this is different from the actual container requirements, like the thing it's running on. Python is running on. So for the stuff in packages, you would use sudo apt-get, something like that, to get it if you were running on your own Python server rather than up in the spaces. So you'd have to put these there. But in Python, you'd have to install these dependencies. So we've got our core dependencies here, definitely making full use of Gradio. That's basically what this competition is all about. It's the Gradio Agents and MCP Hackathon. Um, I'm also uh, using Hugging Face Transformers library, Torch to get the audio, lots of stuff. I'm also attempting to multiply my winnings. We can see you can get uh, extra prizes if you utilize um, uh, you can get extra prizes for utilizing the sponsors. So yeah, special awards right here. So Model Labs Choice Award, Mistrial Search Award. Here we go. Llama Index, $1,000 in cash. So I'm attempting to use a Llama Index in my code. Here's another one. Samba Nova, 500. So should have that in my oh, I actually don't have that. So that's something, as I said, I need to do more work on this. So that'll likely be added. Um, and then what else we got in here? Community Choice Award, um, merch for most engaging participants. Uh, so Modal Labs Award, that's the big one. So let's look at that. Yeah, so Modal Labs, that would be a good one. All right, so there you have it. Those are the awards. I'm going for first place in one or more tracks, whichever one mine applies to. It looks like at this point it applies mostly to the agentic demo track, but I intended to have it be a MCP tool slash server, which it is because Gradio automatically is. Uh, Uh, for the special awards, I'm at very least trying to go for the Llama Index, but I want to go through all of these. Uh, yeah, and we got the timeline. Um, yeah, all the office hours are over. So I've just got until June 10th to submit it, and technically today was the last submission date, but the submission date has been extended. All right, so that brings me back to my code here. So we've got all those requirements loading in for the Python, and there we go. Everything is set to go. The actual container is built, and everything's working properly on it. All right, so now the application is starting up. Where now this is interesting. So I'm new to this. It scares me. The thing that scares me the most is in the README here. So let's go to that section of the README. All right, so this is what scares me the most, assuming it's still in the README, which maybe it's not, just because uh, Oh, did that get away from the README? But the billing, that is what scares me the most. You can get billed from these APIs, and like with AWS, there's AWS has tools to manage your building. You can put a hard limit on how much you spend, but ultimately in the end, it's very hard to know and plan uh, exactly how much you're going to spend. Now you can get close. It's easier to plan for cloud for pay as you go rather than planning to buy the equipment and install them and pay for electricity. So that's all well and good when you've got when you're not just an individual developer doing this in between jobs. But for me, even spending an extra 10 cents without meaning to is a very scary thing. So uh, what I uh, what I did is and here's the section I wanted to talk about. So I'm trying to use all of these because remember there's a bonus, there's potential bonuses for them. So here's all the billing dashboards for each of them, and there should be something to notice on each of these billing dashboards. So I'm going to open these, and we'll notice something right away on each of these billing dashboards. Um, okay, so the first thing we'll note, so the first thing is we've got Hugging Face. So we've got a billing threshold. It's not going to charge me more than $100. I would like to change that to put that down to less, but we've noticed we've got my inference is I've got 10 cents to use for inference, so I really don't have that much to use for inference. If there were some free credits here, I'm not sure I did a good enough job of, and I almost showed all my payment information. I'm not sure I did a good enough job of claiming them for this. But I did want to show, yeah, so we can see I've used inference usages in the past, and they have expired, thankfully, so I can use inference here. But I did not, if there was free credits to use, I did not claim them for that. So yeah, it looks like we were able to get $25 of Hugging Face API credits, but I failed to claim those. Now the Model Labs, we can see I don't even have I'm not even logged into that, or I can't even figure that out. So let's see. Oh, that didn't open a new tab. Here we go. So Model Labs. Yeah, so I did failed to, so I'm not sure what's going on with Model Labs, but we can see that's not working so well for me. All right, so let's go back to my README. Yeah, so then the next one would be Nebius. So let's log into to that, and it's so unclear to me, like cloud or studio, like it's hard to be an informed consumer of a lot of these products, I find. So you can wait for it to convert. Yeah, and it looks like it's not even working. But anyway, long story short, I did claim the 25 for Anthropic, so I do have the ability to use the API there. Um, but I'm using the models locally. So we can see in my development here, and I'll stop the server. There's a models folder. So let me take a look at that. So here's the models folder, and it's not included in my version control. It's ignored, but I have it. I have it pull down models that work locally to save you credits. So you only are going to use your credits if you need to beef something up. If you're just doing something that doesn't require a lot of power, just testing the page or what have you, you can use a local model. So let me demonstrate that. So yeah, here we can see I typed in take because it didn't take my it didn't record me properly and transcribe the text properly, and that might have to do with the strength of the model. I'm still figuring that out, but we can see that that worked. Let's type headache in the symptoms. Okay, and now we can see it's processing, and we can see uh, once it finishes processing, we should be able to see some activity in the network tab of the developer console. And notice how it's taking so long. Well, this is because we're using the local model. So if we go to the logs, we might be able to see that in there. Yeah, so we can see it here. We're using a local model. We're not calling out to another API and using the credits, the free credits, or even paid resources. So we do have a problem here. Name transcriber is not defined. So yeah, I'll admit this is largely or partly, probably largely vibe coded. So there are some things I'll need to work out before the submission deadline. And I have found this is probably going to be something we'll see a lot as AI improves. I kind of sometimes shut my mind off when I'm working with this. So I have never used before this hackathon something like autopilot in a serious and productive manner. I would always use the web. I'm a pro subscriber to ChatGPT, so I would use the web browser UI, and I would copy paste from the UI over to the uh, IDE if I was using one. And I like this a lot better because it puts it out there. It fixes it yourself. It's easy to feed it your whole workspace. You don't have to pick and choose. Like it's so nice. The problem though is I find that it does kind of shut my brain off a lot of the time. I'm just like, okay, it's probably right like this. And I think I'll admit right here, right now, I haven't even like read a lot of this code. Like I'm a Python. As I said, like I worked with Python all throughout my 10-year technology career. I should probably read the Python code, but I'm just so reliant on this tool that I really haven't that much. So we can see, we've already got some pretty low-hanging fruit here. We've got import statements that are called up but aren't used. So I could remove all those. Um, so yeah, it's this is probably the next thing to go after. But yep, just as I had up there, we've got the wrapper app.py for the Gradio space, and I've got share equals true. So one really cool thing I can do with this as well is because I have this share equals true. Let me start the server again. I have a link that comes with it, and now I can access it at a live link rather than just locally. And guess what that enables me to do? It enables me to take the live link and to feed it into like ChatGPT and have it look up all the code. So it makes it easy to hand it over to other LLMs and get their analysis. I've done a lot of work with using ChatGPT Pro, um, just kind of to talk about things and come up with reasoning, stuff like that. But the actual nuts and bolts of the applying the changes, I've done just about everything with Claude 3.5 Sonnet in using Copilot, and I've liked that. Now the next thing I can do, because we saw I had 25 free credits of from Anthropic, and they're going to expire probably tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow or today? Yeah, they expire tomorrow. So I should be able to. I should be able to use those credits some way somehow. I'm not sure, but I'll talk to the AI about that at some point. But here we go. So we can see I typed in headache, and we've got there we go. So we can see that this does work the way it is now. It's pretty rough. I've got a little bit of a ways to go, but we've got things working. It's using a local model, very very low model, but you can click to record and describe your symptoms, and it will do its best to transcribe the tests and then feed it there. But without a model that can do that very well, without this being looked over quite yet. And this is the rough full details video, not the short, tidy one for the submission. We can see it doesn't do it so well. So if I can't get this working in the time, I probably will not even use this during the demo. But so you can either click record and describe them, which will be super valuable for 911, for front offices, for doctor centers, because just in an automated system or something like that, a hospital, a patient can, or it's just some special line, like, we've got 911, we've got 311. Let's have 211 just for, you can call and describe your symptoms, and it will suggest you, and you can have completely automated healthcare that way, and it can get pretty close. And if it can't pin down your ICD code, then it can transfer you to a doctor's office. I mean, wouldn't that be nice? Like, I feel like sometimes you're calling into doctor's offices and they just don't know what the deal with you is. So if you're just having a conversation with an LLM, which we all know can be quite pleasant. I mean, if you talk to a sophisticated LLM, for a lot of people, even with the technology nowadays, which is still very much in its infancy, that can almost be therapeutic. I know for myself, I've experienced a lot of benefits in having a conversation with an intelligent entity. These LLMs, especially nowadays, are operating at a very high level of intelligence. So, right there, you've got an ear available for the patients. They call in at 211, and they just talk to this LLM, and you can give them, like when you leave a voicemail, you get 3 minutes to leave a voicemail, so you can give them, 3 minutes to call into this line and talk to the LLM, and then the LLM can give them medical advice. I don't know the legality of that. I'm sure there's problems with HIPAA and all, stuff like that. But it doesn't even have to uh, save the records of the patient at all. So I feel like I'd have to dive into it more, and that's perhaps beyond the scope of this hackathon, because the due date is very rapidly approaching. But you can imagine very easily where we can go from here. We can add in the drug recommendations codes. We can add in uh, uh, HIPAA compliance. We can add in the compliance. We can set it up via phone, um, where people can call in. There's a lot of places to go. One of the most exciting places is we're at the ICD-10, but the ICD-11 is under development. So we can use this for research and development as well. Imagine a patient calling in describing their symptoms, and despite there being nearly 100,000 codes for it just doesn't fit the bill for anything. We don't have a code for that. Well, we take that response and we process it using AI, and we save so much work for these people trying to make decisions. Does this belong to this code? Do we need a new code? That decision making can be quite labor intensive. So we can say, here's recommendations for the ICD 11 based on the interactions we've had using the ICD 10. So, in my opinion, that's probably the biggest advantage of having an AI system for this. Okay, so we can see when I did the headache. Um, uh, so how this works is you feed it your symptoms, then the AI will analyze your description and suggest possible diagnoses. So here we go. It's doing that. So headache. So it's going to provide the most likely ICD code, confidence levels for each diagnosis, and key follow-up questions. So the most likely ICD code is, drum roll please, is not provided. So as I said, this is the rough, dirty one. It's gonna. I have 2 more days, so we're going to get this figured out. Let me try it one more time. I'm going to type in stomach pain. Stomach pain, yeah. And let's see if it works better there. Now we notice my Anthropic credits. I didn't use any of them yet, so I'm still figuring out what to do with that. I think one thing I would like to do is if I can use these credits, because right now I'm using Claude 3.5 Sonnet. So these are, I think these are not premium models. I think, yeah, there's a 3.7 out there. Um, that I could get 4.1. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can use these API credits to give it the final review before submitting it and having everything work perfectly. Because we can see right now things are left to be desired. But that's the goal of this, to have it analyze the description, suggest possible diagnoses. It does that. It's not doing that now, but it did that in prior iterations. Um, so we can see we got some pretty simple errors going on that I'll be fixing. So that's where I'm at right now. So so yeah, this is the full video. Gonna have a lot of ums and ahs. Going to be very raw. Going to be very long. So the competition is not over yet. So I will make this video as a warm up to that final video, and I'll probably stop talking and put on some more of that Brain FM music, and have the another part of this video be another like ASMR style work session. But before I do that, let me uh, go through the next thing that we see here. So we see advanced settings. So this is where you can enter in all of your API keys. By default, it just uses that local model that it'll pull down, and it'll make calls to it on your using calls to the local host. But we can have it call out to these more robust areas, because we have to use a model that your system can support. So we can see the code here for that. So what we do is we scrape the system specifications. We can see this system quite good. It's got 123 gigabytes of RAM, but unfortunately, it doesn't have any GPU VRAM. So actually, we might be able to fix that just by going in settings. If I run this locally, we can see I'm not doing so good on the RAM side of things, but the GRAM I've got 6 to play with. So we're selecting a model based on what the person is capable of running. So here I'm using Phi-2, and that's the small model. I'm not sure what I'm using. Um, so we've got, oh, it looks like I can use this for free. That's interesting. Uh, uh, okay, well, I'll just leave it there. But yeah, let's go back to the logs and look at that part of the logs more. Yeah, so it's selected the same one because yeah, it made that determination based on what's in the code. So we can see that if I type in small, it should be in the. This is just the wrapper that Gradio needs to uh, to be because it needs it to be at the root, and I thought that wasn't tidy enough in my conversations with ChatGPT. So oops, we also got a extra. We've got an extra file to ignore, so let me add that. Uh, so model cache Python ID. We'll say Gradio. Perfect. Okay, and then let's make sure that actually goes through. Uh, hit the refresh button here. Let's make sure I spelled that right. I'm not sure why it's not turning gray, but whatever, I'll commit it. So ignore radio folder, sync that, hopefully it turns gray. I'm not sure why it's not turning gray. I think it turned gray, but okay, that's okay. So we got the gray ones that are not that are in my git ignore file, not pushed up to the repo. We've got the data that I use. So I processed the ICD-10 codes so that they're available to use by the application. So we got a massive file here, one for each of the codes. I've got yeah, close to 50,000, so 46,000 codes we're working with for every possible sort of diagnosis. And this is just one piece of the puzzle, right? Because we've got the codes for the drugs, we've got all kinds of codes. The resource I've been using is the uh, uh, web's free resource, but undoubtedly there are custom codes and all kinds of codes you could possibly imagine. So I am using the CM codes, the diagnosis codes, as far as I know. We've also got codes for just about everything you could possibly imagine. But I'm just starting with these. We've got some basic things, insulin, shoulder pain, things like that. There's probably not a lot. Oh, yep, we do have pregnancy, childbirth things. I'm not too familiar with this system, but uh, it's a classification. So like, they'll start with like these numbers aren't just random. They're very meaningful. So that can be the code. It's a very thoughtful and well built out coding system. So I figured it would be good to use for this hackathon. So yeah, I processed all those codes into an ICD to description.json file. I have the raw data here that I pulled down from the actual primary resource. The primary resource was this site, ICD10data.com. So I have more uh, of this. I think I processed some of these. Uh, yeah, this is just another file. This is probably just an artifact of me using it there. I also have the Kaggle data set. You can get this data from other places. If you get it from the Kaggle data set, it's perhaps a bit more well prepared for AI. You don't have to clean up the data and get it ready for AI because it's perhaps already done. Um, so now we've got the knowledge base. So we've got symptom to ICD, and we've got all of the possible things that we've got to organize so that the codes belong to this. I think this can help with the questioning because remember the goal is we're going to have the agent. We're going to have it do a series of interactive questioning with somebody, and then the LLM is going to use this MPC, sorry, this model context protocol to call out to our knowledge base, to call out to all these codes and all these things. And it's not going to just be like a model would do, where you say I feel sick, and then it just auto completes. It is going to use reg, it is going to use MCP, and it is going to pull from the actual ICD-10 codes rather than just making stuff up based on the most likely, um, uh, based on the predictions and based on its temperature setting, which is how able it is to go with lower probabilities. So um, if you were not using it with, so you might have some success just based on what it's most likely people will have. If you just use like go and talk to ChatGPT without this sort of thing set up. But if you really want it to be a competent at diagnosing, and if you wanted to recommend drugs, you have to get this right because and let me put this a bit more clearly. If you want to sell this to a reputable company, you got to get this right. Like it has to go out, it has to use the codes, and it has to with 99, 100% confidence give back information that is true and is not hallucinated. So that's yeah. If you want to sell this or use this in a reputable way, or start a company based on this, you just got to get this stuff right. So you have to do reg with MCP to draw from a base. So we got the knowledge base here, and that is pivotal to this project. Next, we have the docs folders. This just helps me in my own development. So I've got my plans because I didn't know what I wanted to do when I first started. I actually made a post in Discord. I wanted to do something to help out the FAA because we've all heard the news. Planes are still like very safe, one of the safest modes of travel. But if it bleeds, it leads, and we've got a few more crashes happening than usual, presumably due to, and I'm talking about the United States right now, and it's presumably due to disruptions in labor in the United States. There's about 3,000 unfilled traffic controller positions. So that was my first goal: is let's automate air traffic control. Like I can't imagine it wouldn't be automated. Like, in basic consumer drones, there's like collision detection and like all this advanced technology. Like, where is it in the planes that people fly on every day? So it's out of my purview. I hadn't really thought about it too hardly before. This ICD coding system, I did have a conversation with someone about before and kind of thought about a little bit before. So this is what I decided to go with instead. So I made some plans for that, checklists. One of the coolest things I did is I utilized my Pro subscription to ChatGPT, and I generated and reviewed research papers that I made. I researched how to win this project. I researched the strategy, and most importantly, I researched using my own the stuff I already have without having to pay. I mean, sponsors were very generous in giving us free credits, but me being kind of new to that, it's like, well, let's just try to use what I have. I have a very limited time in this competition. I'm worried I'll run out of credits, and I'm worried that I might have to pay out of my own pocket, which, being in between jobs right now, I want to minimize that. So that was really cool. I got very relevant, very thought-provoking papers out of this, and this is my entire um, idea. So I got more things to check off. I set up a local development environment. I'm using Python, Gradio, and yeah, and anything else. I didn't use the provided credits, uh, but I um, but I did use my local, so I think I can check that off. Um, so yeah, and then stuff I already had checked off. It was unclear in the directions where to create the space. I initially created it in my personal space, but I saw that other people in the Discord were creating it in their in the Agents MCP hackathon space that I have linked right there. So I think that is a better place to make it. So I joined the organization and I made it in that space just so there's no ambiguity at all that I am participating in this. I did that after I registered, so I did register on time according to the guidelines. I selected a track. Now I selected the first track, and I did that by putting tags in my README. I'm not so sure that what I ultimately ended up making belongs in the first track. I guess the way I imagine it being an MCP server slash tool is it's serves as a reg component for medical inquiries, right? Because it draws from this data I have here, the knowledge base of all these codes, right? So this is how I imagine it being an MCP server. It serves up these ICD-10 codes and prevents the model from just hallucinating, making things up. When people say, I have a headache, the model can say, well, I think you have brain cancer. Well, I don't think somebody who would just randomly talk to an LLM has brain cancer necessarily. I think they would have one of the more common causes of a headache, and we can determine what that would be from these codes. We can do further work on these codes themselves in the MCP server if this turns into a bigger thing after the hackathon, where we can actually determine the probability of these codes, get some more data, like how common is typhoid meningitis. Now that stuff's probably, you can probably get that publicly. So we can, so the other big thing that this does is it has a confidence score. It says I'm 100% confident based on what you're describing to me that you have typhoid fever. And not only do you have typhoid fever, you have typhoid pneumonia caused by your typhoid fever. So that's ultimately the aim of this MCP server. It's to get back the confidence. The confidence and the code. So it's going to be very rudimentary, of course. It's going to be very hacky. It's going to be vibe coded, but there is a lot of room for growth. So yeah. Let's see where we're at with the terminal. Okay, so we've got it up there. So we've got it running on the local host. Let's go and check that out. We also got it running in the space, both my personal space and the hackathon space. I am keeping a backup in my personal space just in case anything changes, or this is taken down after the hackathon. And so I have it more easily tied to my account, I can just go under my profile and find it. So so yeah, let's take a look. We're gonna take in a headache, hit submit, and then it'll process. And I'll leave this up so we can see what's happening under the hood here more. So uh, this is interesting. There's a TikTok CDN. I don't know what's that. Oh, this is probably some prior. I was working on VO3 viral videos on TikTok. I didn't do so well. I guess I don't understand what a viral video is or what the potential is one. Because see, we've got 0 views on all of mine, so I don't know if that's a bug or something. But perhaps part of the reason for that is because I think I'm so clever and that I made this.
This is Iron Bark Brew. Men don't just drink beer; they conquer worlds.
So you can see, I think I'm so funny and clever because he's accidentally, inadvertently shaking up the beer as he's advertising it, and then opens it up to drink it, and it explodes in his face because it's been shaken up. So I think I'm so funny and clever for that, but I don't think TikTok users do. I don't think this is going anywhere at all. So yeah, it has 0 views, 0 comments, and not only that, it got flagged. It got moderated because you can't just make beer commercials and show beer commercials to anyone. You can't show like a 10-year-old a beer commercial. Like that's just not a thing that you can do. So where's the flag? I can't see the flag for some reason. I wish I could. Well, let's look at analytics. I think I might be able to. Oh, I'm getting some views. I got 30. Oh, 34 video views. There we go. But, 34 million would be nice. So yeah, I think I'm funny. I think I'm clever. So that's why I had that remnant left over in the in there. But what I think doesn't matter as much as what the TikTok audiences think. But anyway, back to this. So now we've got here headache. There we go. It's working exactly. It like so good, and we can see the predict here. So we've got a 200 code. That means that went through successfully. Where did that go to? It went to the local host. Now we can send this out to other places and perhaps get a better result. Faster, we can see it took a long time. It took over a minute, so it can be a faster result, and it can be a better line of questioning. So we're going to say I have a headache, and it's going to follow up and say, okay, well that's an ICD-10 I-10 code. 90% confident that that code applies to this. So let's go and look at that code. So we're going to go to the knowledge base and look up that code. So here's the I-10. Interesting. Let's look at the processed code for, see if the I-10 shows up there. Okay, so essential primary hypertension. That's interesting. So it's talking about hypertension. Let's go to the original data and look at the I-10. So yeah, so hypertension. So so from what I understand, that's high blood pressure. It thinks high blood pressure might be causing the headache, and it's wondering if I took a medication or something that is causing high blood pressure. The other code it thinks it could be likely, although it's less confident, with a confidence of zero point 0.6, is code J45. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so maybe it thinks I have IgE plasma, whatever that is. We also have tabular data here. Let's see what that. Okay, so that's yeah. So asthma here. So that's in a different format. Let's look at the data here. So yeah, asthma. It thinks I might have asthma, which might be causing a headache. That's interesting. And this is perhaps where the model strength could matter, because asthma, like for a headache, does asthma usually cause, if I had shortness of breath, that probably good, but I'm not sure I trust how well of a decision it made here. Maybe if we used something more sophisticated than just the local host, it might have come up with something that made more sense. And that was the goal here, just slip in some of these API keys and be able to really selectively use my credits that I have available, have them drain down. But honestly, I'm kind of having trouble piecing together how I could do that, and just getting to this spot here was quite difficult. Okay, so there we go. We can see I've got it essentially working. I say the symptoms that I have. Ideally, if you were going to sell this to a doctor's office, to 911, make a whole new service, 211, 411, 811. People can call in. You got to have it working with the voice, of course. So Gradio has voice capabilities. But unfortunately, right now it leaves a bit to be desired, likely entirely due to my own, yeah, and beat us up. There you have it. So I'll need to figure that out in the end. Likely, I can make that better if I can utilize these keys somehow. But in the meantime, we can add shortness of breath here and submit that. And we can see it certainly does work to some extent. And this is running on my local host. This also does work up in the uh, submission and then my personal page as well. But it does have to load up every time I make a commit, which can slow it down. Let's type in knee pain, submit that, and it'll work here as well. Because we saw the capabilities of the space. If we look at the logs, we do have enough to run a local model, just a small one, but we don't even have to go with the tiny one. We can use the small one. The big one is Mistral. I know there's a bonus for using Mistral, so probably get a lot better results using Mistral, but just using it locally like this on the model's a bit too big for the resources we got. All right, so we're 40 seconds in. Again, we're using the local model. So that performance is not going to be good unless we use a more powerful model. We can do that by calling out to the API or having a beefier local system that can run a beefier local model. All right, so we're a minute beyond. Yep, 70 seconds. It's going to take a while. It's just going to take a while. In the meantime, let me go through. I think the data folder is pretty well described. So yeah, the docs folder is where I'm at now. We're implementing the required features for feature one. We're going to build a Gradio app that functions as an MCP server and test with an MPC client. So I'm not going to check that one off yet because I'm not sure if it's doing that. So I'm going to figure that out. I did create a space so we can check that one off. I did. Now, let's not check this one off yet because I'm not sure if this qualifies for the server track or the agent. I'm pretty sure it's not a custom component. But even that, honestly, it might be because this here might be some sort of custom component. But I'm not sure. I know that they had they wanted it to be done in a certain way. I forget exactly how, but yeah, I'm not sure it would qualify for the custom component. Let's take a look. Yeah, so you'd have to publish it to spaces using Gradio CC publish, and then you'd have to add this tag, and then you have to have a video, not this one that demos the component in action. All right, so that can't be checked off yet at all. Um, this can't be checked off at all yet. Uh, this can't be checked off. Uh, this can't be checked off. It's not that date yet. Uh, yeah, so none of these can be checked off, but we can check off some of these, and very soon should be able to check off these other ones. But that's good. So that's the plans folder. Of course, I've got a bunch of different plans in there. Um, so let me do the implementation plan. Let's see if we got these. So yeah, so of course the plan was to gather the ICD-10 data. Definitely did that. I think all the data stuff is done and is done successfully. So this is all checked off. Um, then build slash search lookup functionality. Well, before we do that, let's actually go through one by one and make sure. So I'm going to skip ahead here to the source folder. So I like to keep things neat and tidy. I have conversations with the AI about how to do so. So we came up with these folders, this hierarchy. We created a wrapper to put app.py at the top level of Quick Radio, but to have it also with the more robust version within source so that it's neat and tidy. So here's the wrapper. So I'm going to talk about this in the context of the code I have in the wrapper, and this will help me to develop as well. Okay, and I have this extra kind of goofy file here. Um, yeah, let's. Actually, I'm gonna save this. Uh, so let's save it under plans. We're gonna save it. Uh, we're gonna say 68tasks.md. Got it. I might want to reformat that into a checklist, but I'll be back. I just need a break. All right, I'm back. So we're at the hour mark. As I said, this is going to be a no holds barred video. If you're here, it's because you want every little tiny dirty detail. You might have even looked at the ASMR coding videos I posted before. So if you're in this deep, you're in this deep for a reason. So I will keep going. And for the second hour of this, however, I think I will be focusing more on actually doing a productive coding session. So let's keep working on this. The data I definitely have that down, but I want to clean up my files so I don't have extra things in the files. So let's take a look in the app.py and see if we have any of these data files in there. Uh, so let's take a look here. So ICD-10 CM. So no results for that. What about ICD to description? Nothing there, so we're not using that. Then uh, ICD. Okay, that's the same file. Okay, the zip file. I'll probably get rid of that. Knowledge base. Not using that. Symptom to. Okay, so that's not in there either. So I do have other folders. So let's search for one of these. Let's search for this symptom.icd just in the whole project. Okay, so we've got this data prep script. Yeah, we do it to ICD2 description, which should be somewhere under data. Yeah, here. So maybe that's what's being used. Yeah, so then we've got a parse a tabular where we're doing that. So honestly, like it looks like it's not using these codes. So okay, I think this is probably going to be um, yeah, this is probably going to start the kind of ASMR coding style part of the video. So I'll put on the Brain FM and there you go. So okay, so there'll likely be not much further ado. I'm just going to do a same sort of ASMR style coding video that I did before. Um, and this video hopefully will be very long, but the first hour of this video should be pretty solid.
This is your brain when you're struggling to. You're listening to Brain FM. We mix neuroscience and music to guide your brain into peak mental states. This is a focus track, clinically proven in large-scale studies to increase focus up to 10 times when compared to normal focus music. It works best with headphones, so grab a pair, settle in, and get ready for the most productive 30 minutes of your day. For unlimited listening, head over to brain.fm or follow the link in the description below.
Well, shit. I knew that was going to happen sometime. I might be able to upgrade and immediately cancel. I thought we already had embeddings. I don't know what embeddings are. Do I have them already? Well, I guess I need the embeddings then. I'm surprised because I know I did this a lot. Why can I, how have I gotten this far without embeddings? Oh, I could shut it down. Uh, that is not loading. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh. Oh, perfect. Okay. Um, Hey, so you're familiar with MCP server, right?
Yes, I'm familiar with the concept. An MCP server, in the context of what you're working on, seems to be a medical coding and processing tool that maps patient symptoms to ICD-10 codes and returns potential diagnoses. Let me know if there's something specific you'd like to dive into.
So I have to include a link to a video recording of my MPC server in action using any MCP client. I might have said MPC by accident. So you could, for example, Claude Desktop, Cursor, or Tiny Agents. If I am using another Gradio app as an MCP client, this is also acceptable. You can link to that space.
Got it, that makes sense. If you have a video recording of your MCP server in action, you can link to that directly. If you're using another Gradio app as a client, you can also link to that. Just make sure the link is accessible so anyone reviewing it can see how the server and client interact. If you need any help with that, let me know.
Got it. And just to be clear, my MPC server, or sorry, MCP, I'm going to continually get that wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. That's the Gradio space I have on that Agents MCP Hackathon user account on Hugging Faces, right? Like that whole space is my MCP server, right?
Yes, exactly. The Gradio space you have under that Hackathon account on Hugging Face is your MCP server, so any client that interacts with that Gradio space would be an MCP client. You're on the right track.
Okay, so I guess that's where I'm confused. Is like, what would I show in my demo? Because what I was thinking I would show is somebody using the fields in that space. So like I've got you might have seen it, but I've got a fields test your symptoms. You can also describe your symptoms, and then I've got a medical consultation window. So like I was thinking they would type in symptoms, or I would do this in my video. I type in like headache, and then we get output in the medical consultation window, and that would be what I make my video out of. But it sounds like if I do that, I'm not using an MCP server. Or, sorry, I am using an MCP server, but I'm not using an MCP client in my demonstration.
Your approach sounds fine. Essentially, if you're showcasing how your MCP server processes user input and returns a diagnosis, you're still demonstrating the server's functionality. The client in this case can be the interface you built using Gradio. As long as you're showing how the MCP server works and returns results based on user input, that should be sufficient for you, Din.
Are you sure? How would I do it with one of the suggested clients?
To use one of the suggested clients like Claude Desktop or Cursor, you typically integrate them by making sure that the MCP server provides an API endpoint. The client would then send requests to this endpoint and display the responses. For example, with a Gradio app as the client, you could have it send the user's symptom input to the MCP server and then show the returned diagnosis or consultation details. This way, your demo can highlight how the server and client communicate, and it provides a nice, clear example of the system in action.
Got it. Okay. Can I do it with VS Code? It's basically the same thing as Cursor, right?
Yes, you can definitely do it with VS Code. If you're using an extension or an integrated tool that can send HTTP requests, like the REST client extension, you can simulate the MCP client behavior right from within VS Code. You just send requests to your MCP server and check the responses directly in the editor. This can be a great way to record a demo showing how the server processes and responds to different inputs.
feel like I should be using. Do you think I should be using VS Code, or should I be using one of the recommended ones?
It really depends on what you're most comfortable with and what fits your workflow best. If you're already using VS Code and it's integrated well into your development process, then sticking with it might be the most straightforward option. On the other hand, if you want to try something new or see how your server interacts with other clients, you could experiment with one of the recommended tools. Ultimately, either approach will work as long as you can clearly demonstrate how your MCP server functions.
Yeah, I've used Cursor before. I was pretty happy with it.
That's great. If you were happy with Cursor, it makes sense to stick with it for this demo. That way you can move quickly and comfortably, and it should give you a smooth demonstration of your MCP server in action. Let me know if you need any help setting it up or recording the demo.
So why don't you think they included VS Code in their examples? Why do you think they went with Claude Desktop, Cursor, or Tiny Agents? Like, is VS Code not a MCP client?
VS Code itself isn't specifically designed as an MCP client. It's more of a general purpose code editor and development environment. The examples they provided, like Claude Desktop, Cursor, and Tiny Agent, are more tailored towards AI and automation workflows, making them a bit more straightforward as examples. But if you're comfortable using VS Code and it fits your needs, it's definitely a valid choice for your demo.
I think I'm going to use Tiny Agents.
Sounds like a plan. Tiny Agents should give you a good interface to showcase how your MCP server works. If you need any help setting it up or have any questions along the way, just let me know. Good luck with the demo. If you need any more support or have any other questions as you work on your demo, feel free to ask. I'm here to help.
What's an inference client?
An inference client is essentially a tool or application that sends data or requests to a machine learning model, usually hosted on a server, and then receives the model's predictions or inferences in response. It acts as a bridge between the user and the model, allowing you to input data and get results without having to interact with the model directly. In your case, the inference client would be what you use to interact with your MCP server and get the diagnostic results.
For unlimited listening, head over to brain.fm or follow the link in the description below.
If there's anything else you'd like to know, or if you have any other questions as you work through your project, just let me know. You're welcome. Anytime you need help or have questions, I'm here. Good luck with everything. If anything else comes up, just reach out. Have a great time working on your project.
Got it. So what do the embedding numbers do again? Semantic space. Is semantic space the same thing as latent space? Latent. Latent. Sorry, there are some typos, but the context should make it clear. take as long as 2 hours. But it's working, I don't care. I will wait 2 hours. it took 5 minutes. This is better. All right. I'm gonna need a lot more help editing that app.py file. I used Copilot with Claude, and it's just a mess. Like, I don't understand anything that's going on in it. So, like, you want me to edit the file? Great, I'll edit it. But I'm just afraid that if I edit it, I'm gonna just brick the project. It's due in 2 days, so like, it's okay. We'll edit it. I think we're on the right track right now. But I'd rather have something than nothing. So I'm worried about fiddling with what I've got and getting to a worse state. But look at the screenshot, and I'll make the edits you suggest. Okay, yeah, that fixed everything. What do you say we do a commit right now? Now that that's working. Well, actually, I haven't finished up. I haven't finished updating app.py yet. But I do think it makes a lot of sense to remove it from the app.py because we don't need to generate the embeddings every time the program runs. We just generate them once and then reuse them once they're generated, right? hate this so much. I hate this so much. I hate this so much. Like, you get a bonus prize for using Llama, don't you? Like, I had this all set up and working. Like, why are you fucking around with this? Like, it worked, right? I did the embedding. I had everything. Like, we're stripping out stuff that worked. Why did we take out Torch? Yeah, I want audio to be a big part of this. I don't get why we're taking out audio. Okay, if you say so. I mean, it was working and it was using llama, which I thought the judges might go, but you're right that it does it every time that the application runs. Like, it doesn't need to be in app.py, it can be pre-generated and just use the embeddings there. But I mean, doesn't the mod, if we generate it on the fly, we're going to be using different models, right? Like, oh man, I'm just confused. Like, I'm lost. I have no idea what I'm even doing anymore. Am I even building a MCP server at this point? Am I using, like, what am I actually doing? Like, am I following a track? I don't know. I'm just really lost and confused. Um, but let me ask you this. Well, forget about it. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to run this application. I mean, we made that emergency branch, right? So hopefully it should be fine. All right, and that's the end of this video. It's 3 hours long. Looks like I'm having space difficulties or something, so I'm gonna stop recording the video.